Good evening, YouTube. We're coming here from Valhalla Games. I'm here with Caleb Norris. And what did you do last weekend?
8th place at the Duluth Regional with 60 cards Zephyra Orcust. Basically just 3 stacks deck. Just a few changes from his list for Nationals, basically. And, pretty good.
Alright, want to just get right into it then?
Yeah, let's get right into the profile. Start with the Zephyras. 2 Zephyrath. You don't really want to brick on it. 2's fine, I'll probably keep that. Double Zephyr new. I was debating on playing Zephyr Windy for a turn 3+1. Basically, you can just pin summon him, get another Searcher, and search this guy, and it's pretty much the same thing. The game's not going to go more than 2 or 3 turns. And then 1 Zephyr Thubin. That's, I guess you would say, the new standard for the 60 card variant. I really wouldn't change anything for that. Then the most broken engine that's made Pendulum a thing again. Servant, 1 Master. This affecting scale doesn't really come up. It's just another target. Striker have a hard time outing it. Sometimes you need to search a high scale with Mastery, so you play it. And then this is the best Pendulum card in the game. Probably needs to be limited or banned at some point. Obligatory Dark Worm.
Only 2?
Negate. Well, the honest answer is I only have 2 secrets. So there's that. But it's also it worked out fine. You don't need the Guard Dragons to go off in this deck because you play Orcust, and also I'll play Dragon Caller now. So
yeah,
it's fine. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't bump it up. Space is tight in this deck, as you can imagine. Triple Master Cerberus, Double Jackal, Garuda.
So a lot of people have been cutting him. What was your reasoning behind playing it?
Well, at first I just net decks 3 stacks deck card for card, and at first I didn't really like it. But the more you play with it, the more you realize that when you play the Zephyr engine, so even if they ash this, first of all, if you have a turbo card, you can just make Electrum pop it, obviously. But even if they ash this, you're usually fine, because the most important thing is Zephyrath is going to send Zephyr new. You know, that's a free +1. You can still pin summon that. You pin summon that and Jackal King, and any normal summon, you can still get the counter trap, do the Orcust combo, and you're completely golden. So, I don't know if I would play it in Magician, pure Magician, but with the Zephyr, it's really nice. It just counteracts the +1. There's just a ton of ways to keep going and keep playing in this deck. So, I like it. I wouldn't cut it. Plus, Garuda can come up really clutch at times. Plus, it's an excuse to play a second Jackal King, which I like. I would keep him in, at least for this build. I don't know how I feel about it in the Magicians. Chronograph, Time Gazer, standard. Every Pendulum deck needs to play that. No reason to not. Double Harmonizing, 1 Black Fang for the high scales. I started with 3 Harmonizing, but there's certain hands where you want, if you can't get to Zephyrath, sometimes you want a high scale and a Harmonizing. So, there's that. I'm calling. Anyway, then for the low scales, double Purple Poison, 1 Dragon Caller. This card is insane. Absolutely 100% play this in every Pendulum deck, especially if you play Mare, like I do. So, just another way to get into Dragon plays. Turn a Mare token into a Dragon. Start the combo that way. I won a few games without even Pendulum summoning against back row decks. So, definitely keep it in. Purple Poison, it's not amazing, but it outs Floodgates. You just play it. You can't really play the high scales because Zephyrath is going to be your high scale as a 7. So, don't want to play too many. Then, one Strudo for the Guard Dragon plays, obviously. And then, the Orcust package. 1 Horror, 1 Nightmare, 1 Skeleton. I've seen a few lists bump this to 2. You don't really want to brick on them. Even just drawing the 1 Nightmare is fine. You can just use You can just use your pen call to get to another high scale, or you can discard it or remove it for a lure. There's a lot of ways to get rid of it. It's not so bad to draw just the one. I really wouldn't bump it up for consistency purposes. And then last 2 tech cards that I decided to throw in. Just I don't play a target for seal because the deck just puts up so many negates. It was just completely unnecessary. So for going second, I take Armageddon Knot and Mare. So Mare potentially can turn into the entire Orcust combo or the entire Guard Dragon combo by itself, which is absolutely absurd. And Armageddon Knot turns into Yazi. Spoiler alert, play Yazi. It's retarded. I would have won a lot of games going. I would have lost a lot of games going second if I played like Sloth or Aether instead of these. I really liked it. Spells. 3 Mastery to search the best Pendulum card in the game. Servant. 3 Duelist Alliance. Double Pen Call. 6 felt like too many. 5's enough. You play this over this because it gives Servant all the counters by itself, just with this. Nothing really say about that. Triple Providence. Triple Oracle. I did kind of brick overdrawing the Zephyr portion of the deck a few times. Just because there's so few targets. You're not building this for a grind game. You really can't. You try to just, if you go second, you try to just kill them. Or you just go first. It makes such an unbreakable board you can't lose. I've seen some people cut this and this to 2. I think moving forward, I'm going to cut 1 Oracle for a second Ravine. Just for more turbo cards. Just sometimes I didn't get to a turbo card. And you really want that to bait out hand traps. I'll probably cut this too. I wouldn't cut this down because it gives all the counters to Servant by itself. And it's just completely absurd. So I would keep that at 3. Double Allure, just to draw through the deck. It's more of a space filler. I liked it pretty well. You can... if you draw like, there were a few hands where I drew like double Orcust, and that's really bad. You don't want to do that. Allure one of them away, pen summon the other one. You can do the Orcust combo that way. Just summon a Galatea that way. It's fine. I thought it was pretty good. Give counters to Servant. 3 might be too much for this build. I liked it. Triple Dragon Shrine, 1 Foolish. Totally mandatory. You need to see Darkworm. You don't have to have a dragon to go off in this deck because of the Orcust, but to bait out hand traps, you want to start with the Guard Dragon engine, so you just want to get to it as much and often as possible. And Foolish can also send symbols, or can also send Orcust Nightmare, which is insane. And going second, these all can also send Destrudo, which can make Yazi, Mare, insanity. For the 1-of spells, with Terraforming, Set Rotation, Ravine, and then for the Orcust, Babel. Babel really didn't come up that often. I guess it's just something else to get if you open the Crescendo. I'm not very experienced with the Orcust portion of the deck. It's kind of a brick. Might consider cutting it, but there were some boards I didn't even touch Pendulum things and just ended with this and Crescendo with a Dingirsu Engrave, and it's pretty nice. I don't know. In 60 cards, you probably need to keep it in. I liked it pretty well. And then the counter traps, 1 Divine Strike, 1 Crescendo. Obviously, you need these for Dark Ruler no more. And also, it's just nice just to have negates that can't be sphere moded away, can't be super polyed away, can't be Dark Ruler no more, can't be Contact Fusion away with Cyber Dragons. That deck's getting really popular. I played it in the finals and lost to it.
Who was your last round opponent?
I played Blair Hunter in the last round, and he won the dice roll and got to the Cyber Dragon trap that pops scales. There's really nothing this deck can do going second to play through that board. It's really insane.
And you asked him repeatedly to do roll.
Yeah,
I tried.
I tried. I tried really hard to get him to agree to do it on a lower roll. It didn't happen. Of course, I roll an 8, he rolls a 9. So here I am in 8th place instead of first place. Yeah, it's all right though. Any changes to the main deck? I guess I would probably cut one Oracle for a Ravine moving forward, just for more turbo cards, and just drawing like 3 Zephyr cards doesn't really do anything because you just want to get to Zephyrath. Anything beyond that is just getting discarded for the Orcust combo. Extra deck next. Electromite, obvious. Guard Dragon combo, LP, Triple Burst, Agripane, Vortex, Seal, Dragster. Just standard, nothing really to say about it. You don't really make Dragster usually in the turn 1 play now, because the way it goes, the Destrudo comes back, target something, you link that off for the Orcust package. Phoenix, Mermaid, Double Galata, Dingirsu. But I kept it in. Going second, after side decking, I like to side out the Orcust cards. You just can't afford to brick on them. And I keep in Divine Strike, and I make this off of Destrudo, just in case they try to mind game you and make you go first. Just keep this and Divine Strike inside it. Even if you side out all the Orcust cards, as long as you don't break on side deck cards, you can still make a board that's good enough to win. And then just showed it, obviously, the Orcust package. This is insane. I didn't like it at first because of all the bricks and all the extra deck space it takes up, but just the fact that it's just so generic. And really the way this deck plays is you just want to kill them immediately. There's no need for like rank 4s or level 8s, just any of that. Just any 2 monsters do this, kill them immediately. And then the last 3 cards in the extra deck. Beat Cop for generic link 2, Yazi, and Boral Sword. So I won a lot of games going second that I would not have won without playing Yazi and Mare. It's just insane versus back row decks. If you can summon Yazi, Yazi pops 3 cards and does 10,000 damage by itself. Just because you link off 2 of the tokens into Beat Cop. The Mare and the last token go in for Phoenix, which go in for Mermaid, which does the whole Orcust combo. You can end with a pop from this, a Sin from Dingirsu, a pop from the Mermaid, which is free because you'll get the draw because it'll be co-linked, and then you'll end with Dingirsu and Boral Sword, which is pretty insane off of 2. I've been summoned nothing but a Harmonizing Magician one game going second against somebody and just ODK'd him completely with this. Then side deck. My side deck's a little weird because I didn't get hold of exactly all the cards that I wanted, but some of it's got to stay in. Triple Sphere Mode, Triple Lava Golem. You really can't win going second against other combo decks, just because this deck, it can play through back row pretty well as long as it's not a floodgate. But just the fact that you need your scales just means any disruption just hurts a lot. You really need to hard draw one of these against, against Orcust, Thunder Dragon, other Pendulum. You really need to hard draw this. Never really came up in the tournament. I did, however, Game 3 against the Noble Knight guy whose list is going around right now. He went X1 with X2 with Noble Knights. He did really well. Game 3, I opened Lava Golem against him and tributed an Appaloosa and the guy with all the equips. So I won a game because of that. Other than that, I didn't really draw them. Then, so I couldn't get a hold of a second Radiant, which is the superior kaiju to play because it's an allure target and you can Pendulum summon it. So I had to settle with one Humongous and one Radiant. It never really came up. I never really drew either of them. Play 2 Radiant. I just couldn't get one.
Should have asked me.
I don't know. Wasn't around. Then Triple Denko, just for strikers, any kind of back row deck. Never drew this either. Started in a few times. I won game 1 so fast, I didn't know what I was playing against. So, I decided again to get Striker. I never saw it. Double evenly.
Only 2?
I can only get hold of 2. Moving forward, I guess it's fine. Really, the thing this is best against is Striker, and that deck is so slow you can just kind of not do anything for 2 or 3 turns, and hope to top deck this if your hand is bad or something. Probably 3 or 2. I don't know. Then 1. This is the most relevant side deck card because it won me a game going second against Striker. So I completely bricked. I drew Duelist Alliance with no proper scale, a Jackal King, a Divine Strike, Destrudo, and what else? Something else completely irrelevant. And I almost scooped that game because it was game 2, and I just didn't see it happening. So what I ended up doing, my 6th card was this. I was like, okay, well, if this can go up and I get a proper scale, I can win. So what I did was just bluff evenly, hoping that he wouldn't go search the guy that blows up this so he could respond to it. And he just kind of played conservatively, just poking for 1500. Never got the spell and trap destruction thing. And eventually I won the game because of this. A game that I should not have won. Against anything slower, I would have lost. Anything faster, I mean. Then last card in the side deck is 1 Scarlet for time. It never came up. I tried to play. I hate these time rules. I played really fast. Just trying to make sure it never came up. But you're gonna be real sad if he hits a game 3 with a minute left and you don't have this. So I guess you have to play it moving forward. Moving forward with the side deck, I think these are 100% necessary. This is just too nice, too easy. Maybe cut this down. Probably play 2 of these because it's good against Orcust and Striker. So maybe Super Poly, but I was afraid of like Secret Village, just other random people sending Curious Griffin, just sending Imperial Order, just random things like that would keep you from activating spells. No Dark Ruler and no Nibiru because you have to hard draw. You have to open Nibiru, not likely in a 60 card deck, and Dark Ruler's not good against Orcust or Pendulum, which is 2 of the 3 things you don't want to go second against. So for the most part, I think the side deck was fine. Maybe try to find room for Super Polish, just because you need to open. You absolutely have to open something going second against another combo deck. It's just not optional.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Very concise, to-the-point profile. Ran longer than I was expecting. And best of luck in the future.
Yeah, thanks.